Whenever you're ready, Dustin. Come on in.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, how are you?
Good, nice to meet you. I'm Dustin.
Yeah, you too. Why don't you take a seat, Dustin?
Just want to start off by saying thank you for your time. I understand you're a very busy person, so
Yeah,
it's very important for me to get this stuff kind of out of the way and get this thing going. So,
not a problem.
so you got a Cubs jersey hanging up on the wall there.
Go Cubbies.
I mean, come on, just clinch the World Series or clinch their playoff spot in the World Series.
Well, that was easy. They were playing the Dodgers, so we knew that.
I don't know.
I mean, that was
The Dodgers kind of handed it to him early on, so
Yeah, I had confidence. They're gonna. No more Billy Goat. The legend of the Billy Goat's done. We're winning the World Series this year.
fingers crossed. You
That's
ever
right.
you ever been to Wrigley Field?
I have, yeah. My parents, I grew up in Milwaukee, but my parents had a firm that they worked for that had an office in Lincoln Park, which is basically where Wrigleyville is. So I kind of grew up going in that area, and then as I got older, we would hang out there. It's a fun place to socialize. So yeah, I've been in that area a couple times.
Yeah, I've always
or more.
Wrigley Field's on my bucket list of places to be.
Oh, it's a blast.
Although I have been in Chicago, right? What's your favorite thing about Chicago then?
I like Michigan Ave. There's a bar called the Billy Goat. So if you know Michigan Avenue, you go all the way down to the bottom where the river is, and you go underneath the L, and then down at the bottom is a bar called the Billy Goat. I don't know if you know Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
But they're famous when Jim Belushi was there. They had a skit called, and they go hamburger, 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 and it's underneath there. It's just this crappy little bar that the Chicago Tribune reporters go to, and they serve king cans still today of Pabst Blue Ribbon for $2 and these crappy little hamburgers. It's awesome.
I gotta add that to my list of things to do next
Oh,
time.
for sure. Yeah.
Cool time. But I understand we're both busy people, so I had some questions prepared today, and I just wanted to shoot them by you and get some answers.
Yeah, you bet.
So I want you to kind of start off by describing the recent trends in your microbrew sales to me here in the departments.
Right. This category has just exploded. Within the last 10 years, if you would have looked at our microbrew selection at any of our festival stores, it would have been limited to maybe 2 doors. And now we have a whole wall of coolers dedicated to our microbrews, and it's really pushing the space out of the big brewers and the Bud Lights and the Miller Lights, and it's kind of pushing them aside. And so this category has grown because of the interest, but it's also grown to us because we make more money on the margin, and people are willing to spend some more money. With that said, it's getting almost unmanageable. So everybody has now got their 6-pack of something from some place. And so we have to start making decisions on where do we stop this, and whose brand do we have in here and whose brand do we do not have something, knowing that the microbrew drinker is pretty diverse. And they're looking for, their palate is diverse, and they're looking for different varieties. And if we just do one brewer that's just got a single, some brewer out of Kalamazoo, Michigan that's only doing a lager and they don't do anything else, it's tough for us to bring that brand in.
No, exactly. It's a very, very competitive market.
Yeah.
I want to move on to how do you think, would there be like any kind of benefit or any kind of influence in your sales trends by increasing your variety of microbrew sales?
Oh, for sure. Like I said, the margins are great. We're looking for breweries that have a multi-category brand. So beer drinkers tend to be pretty loyal. Like there's I don't know if you've heard, there's one called Left Hand Brewery. And so they've done they started with a couple really good milk stouts, and people got hooked on that, and now everything else that they do, people are like, I'll get that because I know they do really good beer. And they've gone from stouts to lagers to pills, to Hefeweizens, and so we're looking for a brand that we can grow with because they recognize it, and they're like, whatever they make is going to be good. And then we get people not getting bored on just the same beer with that brand, but they can have different categories within the brand, and that gives us repeat sales.
Well, yeah, I believe that all of us have our own specific brands, and
Sure.
It's also very important for us all to diversify ourselves and try something new.
Right.
So, so would you think any kind of increase in inventory variety would be beneficial?
Oh yeah, and again, because we have, it's expensive to run the section because of the cooling that it takes. So we got we have an end cap or a wall that costs us a lot of money, and the more that we can turn over the inventory, the better we're going to be. If it's sitting there and people don't recognize it and they're like, I've never heard of this brewery before, I'm not going to have it, that's just a cost to us. So the more that we can turn it over, the more profitable we're going to be, and that's really what we're looking for is inventory turnover.
Excellent. So then, what benefits would you see for not only your business but for your customers?
For sure, the customer is going to. We want them to know that they're going to come to festival, and they're going to whatever their palate is, we're going to have, and especially those known brands. They're not going to be disappointed when they come here, and they're not going to have to go to a liquor store or some other big distributor. That they have confidence that we are the one-stop shop for microbrewed beer.
Excellent. I want your customers to have that same confidence as well.
Excellent.
So I've got some good information here, and I want to take it back to my office and do some thinking here and think about a solution that maybe benefits us both. Would you mind meeting up the next couple weeks here? We can discuss this further.
Sure, that'd be great.
Excellent. Thank you much, Mike.
Yep, you bet.